Okay, if today I gave you a stone and told you that it might worth millions of dollars, not because it's gold or diamond, but because a human 25,000 years ago drew an animal on it. And it might be one of the oldest artwork we discovered in the world so far. But the strange thing isn't about the stone, it's why do people do art 25,000 years ago? A lot of people think art should come after civilization, when cities are stable, when foods are enough, when people have security to be alive. Sounds pretty reasonable, right? But the reality is 25,000 years ago, humans are still hunters and gatherers. They're still gathering their foods. The agriculture hasn't been fully developed yet, and their main goal is to stay alive every day. And yet, in that world, humans spend hours drawing on a stone. So these stones were discovered in modern day Nambia in a cave, and it was found by a German archaeologist, W.E. Wendt, and they named it Apollo 11 stone. Not that Apollo 11 stone, but this Apollo 11 stone. It is because it was discovered around the same time when Apollo 11 landed on the moon. Kind of weird, right? An oldest artwork has a pretty modern name. So some background about this cave. So this cave has been there forever, and well, not forever, let's be more accurate, but like the cave has been there for a long time, and people have been living in it for over 100,000 years. The entrance is about 30 meters wide, and it overlooks a dried river valley. Well, it's not dried back then. So generations after generations, they live here, and they set fire here, they sleep here, they eat food there, they live here. So archaeologists found the trace of life. They even found an ostrich eggshell with red pigment on it. So people guess it might be the paint container back then. They also found something really shocking, which is few stone slab, and one of them has an animal drew on it. It's a pretty weird, creepy animal. It has a cat's body, it has the horns of antelope and legs of human. Very creepy, right? So no one knows what it actually is. 25,000 years has erased too much details. So we might never know what the author intended to draw. But there's one thing that all the archaeologists agree on, which is that the art was done with a purpose. It's not a random doodling. The movements are being carefully observed, and the proportions are pretty good, and the posture are also, you can tell it's intended. Well, that means before the author started drawing, he has an image in his mind. That means he has thinking skills. Apollo 11 stone is just the beginning of the story. Afterwards, archaeologists have found many and a lot more stone around southern Africa. There were hunters, there were antelopes, and there even people dancing with their nose blood. At first, people thought, oh, it's just prehistorical Instagram. Like, a hunter is going to hunt today. And then later he saw a funny antelope, and then he just gonna record it. But something really strange happened is, as we said earlier, those unrealistic, weird, creepy animals, why do they record them if they're just recording their daily lives? So researchers studying San people, and San people are indigenous hunter and gatherers around southern Africa. So the researchers studying them proposed a pretty good explanation, which they said shamans in San community would perform a ritual and they would dance for hours and hours until they entered a alternate state where basically they're very dizzy and seeing unrealistic things. And in their belief, they can use their consciousness to enter another spirit world where they can communicate with their ancestors and they can see unseen forces. So those weird creatures might be what they thought they saw. We can't be 100% sure what people 25,000 years ago are thinking. So this is just a widely accepted explanation to it. Most importantly, what Apollo 11 stone means. It meant modern human thinking were developed much earlier than we believe. And what truly separates a human and animal isn't that we know how to use tools. Well, like as we know today, animal can also use tools. But what really separates us and animal is we can assign meaning to things. Stone painting isn't just a painted stone. It can represent the beginning of something or a story. So, what if it's you? If you lived 25,000 years ago and you can draw something on a stone for people later to discover, what would you draw? I would probably draw a QR code and hopefully they can scan it. And yet, in that world,